So this video we're doing 5.4, so the point-slope equation. So we learned slope-intercept, and now we're going to do point-slope. But first we're going to do a little bit of review. So my slope-intercept equation, my m stands for slope, my b stands for my y-intercept. Okay, and my y-intercept means where it's crossing my y-axis. So this is where you always begin on your graph, and this is where you move to on your graph. Okay, so if f of x equals 3x minus 1, I have domain, so domain is all my x values. So that means I have 3 different x values. F of x means the same thing as y, so let's make our equation a little bit easier and just change it to y. Okay, now if I have 3 different x values and I'm trying to find my range, I need to plug my x values in for x so I can find my range. So I'm going to get y equals 3 times negative 1 minus 1, y equals 3 times 0 minus 1, and y equals 3 times 1 minus 1. And now we got to solve them because we need 3 different y values. So 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 minus 1, so y should equal negative 4. 3 times 0 is 0, 0 minus 1 is negative 1. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 minus 1 is 2. So here are my ranges. Okay, in this, my domain is all my x values, my range is all my y values. So x, 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 we got 3, 4, negative 2, and 6. And for my range, we have to do all of our y values. So 2, 1, 1, and 7. To tell whether it's a function, you have to see if your x's repeat, okay? So do any of my x's repeat? No, so it is a function, okay? If my x is repeated, it wouldn't be a function. Okay, if I graphed all of these points and connected my dots, I would be able to tell whether it's a function by my vertical line test. Okay, vertical line test is if I have a graph, I do a bunch of vertical lines and see if it crosses twice. If it crosses twice, like having the same x value, it's not a function. Okay, if I'm writing this in slope-intercept form, well, slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b, so I need to get y completely by itself. So I'm going to subtract 2x. When I subtract 2x, it just goes on to the end. So I'm going to get 8y equals 10 minus 2x. Okay, now y is still not by itself, so I need to divide by 8, so that means I divide everything by 8. So y equals 10 over 8 minus 2 over 8x. But my x has to be in front because it's in y equals mx plus b. So I'm going to get y equals negative 2 over 8x, because that negative goes with it, plus 10 over 8. Now it is in y equals mx plus b, and I can graph something like this. Slope-intercept equation. So if I am trying to find a slope-intercept equation, I need a slope and a y-intercept. So first, my first step is always to find my slope. So I'm going to do y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So x1, y1, x2, y2. So on top I'm going to get 1 minus 0. On bottom I'm going to get 1 minus 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. 1 minus 0 is 1. So my slope is 1. Okay, I now need to find my y-intercept because I don't have it yet. So I'm going to pick a point. Let's pick 0, 0. And my slope, and I'm going to plug it in. So I got x, y. So I got 0 for y, 1 for my slope, 0 for x. 0 times 1 is 0. If I subtract a 0 from both sides, my b should equal 0. But that is not slope-intercept equation. Okay, I need to get it in a form where I can graph it. So I'm going to rewrite it with my slope and my y-intercept. So I'm going to get y equals, put my slope in, and put my y-intercept in. So this is something that I can graph. Okay, so first I got to find my slope. So I'm going to do negative 2 minus negative 2 and 6 minus 4. 2 negatives should make a positive, so negative 2 plus 2 is 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. 0 divided by any number. If you remember, okay, 0 divided by any number should be 0. So right now my slope is equal to 0. Let's say I pick this point because I need to find my y-intercept. So this is x, this is y. So negative 2 equals my slope times my x plus b. 0 times 4 is 0, so my b should equal negative 2. Okay, and we need to write it in a form that's my slope-intercept form, so I need to rewrite my equation for y equals, put my slope in, put my y-intercept in. 0 times x is just 0, so my answer is y equals -2. Okay, point-slope form. Here's my equation for point-slope form. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, okay, where my y1 and x1 are going to be points that we're going to plug in. So if my equation is y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, this is my point x1, y1, and here's my slope, so I'm just going to plug them in. So I'm going to change colors. I'm going to get y minus my y1, so 4, times my slope, x minus my x1, so 2. So that is my point-slope equation. We're just plugging it in. Okay, so y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we're just plugging this in. My x1, y1, and slope. So y minus my y1 is -3. Okay, do not leave off a negative. It's minus a negative here. My slope is 0. X minus my x1 is -1. Okay, two negatives should make a positive, so this will change to y plus 3. Two negatives make a positive, so that will change to x plus 1. Okay, this time I'm going to do my y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, x1, y1. So we're just going to plug in again. So y minus my y1 is 4, my slope is 1/2, and my x1 is -1. So I'm going to get y minus 4 equals 1/2 times x. Two negatives make a positive, and there's my point-slope equation. Okay. This also can be taken into slope-intercept equation. So say I wanted to do slope-intercept equation 2, all I would do is distribute this and add this 4 over. Okay, so if I give you 2 points, if I need a point-slope equation, the first thing that I need is a slope. Okay, we always start with slope. So first step is to find slope. So I'm going to get m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, x1, y1, x2, y2. So on top I'm going to get 5 minus 6. On bottom I'm going to get 6 minus 5. 5 minus 6 is -1. 6 minus 5 is 1. So my slope is -1. Okay, so to make a point-slope equation, I need a point and I need a slope. Well, I have 2 points I can choose from, and I also have my slope. So I can pick either point to put into my point-slope equation. So if I picked this first one, I would get y minus 6 is equal to my slope that I found, x minus 5. If I picked the second one, I'm going to get y minus 5 is equal to the slope I found, x minus 6. Okay, so if I solve these out, like distributing it and then adding the 6 over, or distributing this and then adding the 5 over, my slope-intercept equation is going to be the exact same. So in the end, they're the exact same answers when you solve them all the way out. Okay, so I have 2 points, so I need to find my slope first. So I'm going to take 8 minus -2 over 6 minus 1. 2 negatives make a positive, so I'm going to get 10 on top. 6 minus 1 is 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Okay, so I pick a point. So let's pick this one first. So I'm going to get y minus -2 equals 2 times x minus 1. 2 negatives make a positive, so I'm going to get y plus 2 is equal to 2 times x minus 1. Now if I choose this equation, I'm going to get y minus 8 is equal to 2 times x minus 6. Okay, so again, if I distributed this 2 for both of these and then subtracted this 2 over or added the 8 over, I should get the exact same slope-intercept equation.